You're welcome back. In a fiery closed-door meeting with APC stakeholders in Kogi State, the state governor, Yaya Bello, outgoing, launched a scathing tirade against members of his cabinet, accusing them of betrayal during and after the recent governorship election there. This explosive revelation has sent shockwaves through the state's political corridors, and tonight on Politics HQ, we seek to unravel the ramifications of Governor Bello's accusations, from the impact on governance in that state to potential shifts in alliances. We'll dissect the fallout from this internal rift in Kogi's political sphere. Our guest tonight, Michael Larry Toluhi, political analyst. He joins us from the United Kingdom. Michael, it's a pleasure to have you.
Good evening. Pleasure to be here to my brother.
Right. What's your view on that tirade, by Governor Yaya Bello? I don't think, a lot of people expected it coming, because his anointed successor, Odudu, won the Kogi State governorship election comfortably, relatively comfortably. So what's your view on that?
My view of that is the governor just needed to do what he needed to do. He probably was thinking, okay, that he allegedly won, like you said, and his anointed candidate allegedly won or said to have won. And he probably said if the lieutenant had done what they had planned to do, or what the initial plans, he wouldn't have gone all out the way he went out. And they were not loyal, because they benefited from the system in code, and they don't want to do the working in the system. So he needed to give them a reality check, because he knows that I can tell you that 90 to 95% of his people in that caucus, the people that probably are not qualified, and he knows they were not qualified, but through to his autocracy and authoritarian attitude, he brought them on board, nurtured them, and told them, okay, go deliver your word. All the councillors, all the local government council, all APC members, all the local government chairmen, APC members. So I'm sure he told them, go deliver your local government, go deliver your word. And then all these commissioners, the SCs, SSEs, he had them in numbers, in hundreds of numbers. So he probably had to them the hard work they should have done, and they couldn't deliver, because you see, once, if you've not done well, you've not done well. It is not a rocket science. And he felt, okay, they muzzled the people. Yes, they were able to still do what they had to do, because they have power and they are the influence. They could do all that. But won't get to pause. For me, Yabelo has done right by questioning his people, because they're not loyal to him. That's when they were opportunists, so to say. So he needs to check, reality check on them. But at the same time, too, he needed not have spoken to them like that to if they were qualified for the office. And now, one asks the question, why is it bitter? His days are numbered in Lugard House. He will be out in January. His anointed candidate, his so-called popularity and fantastic work is speaking for him. Why is he scared that they didn't do the sweeper's job? It boils down to the fact that there's a new godfather in town who feels, even when he leaves, and the fear of Kogites of having a third term, extension of third term, is already playing out. That is what happened in that period. For me, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we are seeing that.
All right.
He needs to give all of them reality check.
So you're saying it's a good thing, Michael, but how significant are these accusations, betrayal within his cabinet? I mean, how did these guys betray Yaya Bello? Is it that they were working, discreetly for candidates of other parties and maybe he found out? Because, I mean, who we thought his main opponent was, Dino Melai could not even muster 50,000 votes in the election. And we saw a candidate, perceived outsider for some of us from the SDP, put up some sort of challenge. So, I mean, in what ways would you think that they betrayed him?
Okay. I think the way he felt they betrayed him. You see, Governor Bello called himself the White Lion, has portrayed himself and trying to sell to Nigerians or to the populace that he's a unifier, that he has unified Kogi and is trying to unify Kogi. But it's funny that if you have truly done, this is the first election in the history of Kogi. I'm a Kogi by uh, for the information. And this is the first election in the history of Kogi that we have Fiber agenda, we're having the EP agenda, we're having the Ital agenda, we're having the Okun agenda. It shows that Kogi is not polarized towards ethnic sentiment, religious sentiment, and all that. And he knows they're probably feeling they failed him because they felt those from the Kogi East worked for those in Kogi East and worked for somebody that came from Kogi East who happens to be the candidate of the SDP. And at the same time, they have, in terms of numbers, they have a huge number, a huge percentage in terms of population in Kogi. I guess that's what he's thinking, that they betrayed him, knowing that. And, those in Kogi West, you can see even in his address, he thanked them for doing the Kogi West and for if they do. If they've done elections proper, my brother, believe me, there is no way in person of Senator Dino Melai wouldn't have gotten good vote. Let us tell ourselves the truth. We all know how these things work. Because we all heard and we all saw or alleged pre-written a result sheet even before election came out. We saw it and it played out. We saw in places in some local governments where we had a registration of almost 150,000 people registered. Now talking about the collection of PVC, we have more like 120 people collecting PVC. And when they did accreditation, we had like 78,000 people did accreditation. And when result came out, we are seeing 130 something, 120. Let us not go in there. So that is what it's talking about being betrayed. He felt betrayed because he was able to do his started job in Kogi Central where he came from. So his people delivered there. And in Kogi East, he couldn't do that. Probably the youth in those places stood up and he felt, because the truth is, people are going to vote. The fact that you're a government official does not mean you can force people to vote. People are going to vote. Yes, they want to do all their funny games and all that, but he felt that in some areas of the state, they couldn't lord a lot of people to do that. Believe me, Abilu felt betrayed because he wanted a situation where he will win the 21 local government.
Yeah, but Michael, such a statement, surely one would say, needs to be investigated, because if a governor is saying, okay, maybe, yes, I'm happy in the areas where Dino Melaye is meant to have gotten votes, he didn't get votes, he didn't win up to 50,000 votes, and you were saying that there's a K-leg there, like Obasan just said, there's something amiss, and you're pointing to the pre-filled or allegations of already filled result sheet, all right, result sheet that may have been responsible for Dino Melaye's abysmal performance. Now, in other areas where Jacko won more than almost 250,000, if not more, votes, probably that is where Yaya Bello may be upset. Now, if the people of Kogi State voted and that is what played out, then what is it that these commissioners, these cabinet members didn't do that Yaya Bello is angry about? Michael.
Now I'm saying Yaya Bello wants to have 110% of the vote. He wants his commissioners, he wants his SAs and his SSCs and his appointees to go out there and probably run the kind of election they did in 2019. kind of election, which they
Are,
couldn't
are,
really
are you
that
are
way.
you
But they
saying
have.
are you insinuating, Michael, that the governor is angry because his cabinet members did not rig that election to ensure the APC got majority of the votes in the areas where they lost?
Fourth, there's an alleged rigging of the election. I'm not a court. I'm not court of law. There's an alleged rigging of
No,
the
no,
election,
because
even at the
Michael, try to understand my
But
question. What is it that the commissioners were expected to do on the day of the voting when there is nothing like campaign anymore? Day of voting, there is nothing like campaign. Just people go queue up and vote. What is it that Governor Yaya Bello was expecting his commissioners to do that they didn't do? That's made him angry. That's what I want you to tell
Okay,
us.
now I'm saying. Now I'm saying there's an allegation in Kogi West, where I come from, where they were giving 5,000 and some Ankara, 6 yard Ankara, that goes for 700 naira in the market. You get? And I'm sure in Kogi East, maybe that wasn't done. The money for the boat buying wasn't done. They've taken the money and the sabotaging, they all knew they were going out because, they know their government is ending in January, which I understand. And there was money available, which they probably didn't spend, because that is the only thing to say to it. I knew in a lot of places, I saw the pictures, I saw the videos of some places where they were buying vote at 5,000 and Ankara, 6 years of Ankara. Maybe in Kogi East, that wasn't done. And in some areas, it wasn't done. So he got angry because they didn't get 110% of 100.
All right. What do you think, when you say, Michael, this public rift, very public scathing remarks by the governor on his inner circle members? What do you think it reveals about the internal dynamics, and even past struggles within the ruling party APC in Kogi? Are you probably seeing that this rift could lead to a reshuffling of political alliances, that would even go ahead and affect the party's strength in the state?
Because the party's strength in the state is fragile, no doubt. But it just shows the authoritative nature of the person of the governor, his arrogance, because he displayed that quite well in the videos. I've seen some of the videos, and he displayed, because you see him call the Accountant General, he called some people who enough to be his father. He called them because he's the governor, forgetting that power is transcend, talking to them as if they're babies. Yeah, but because they were not qualified, you see, like we said, they are not qualified human beings. They are people that won't get these offices. So they are privileged and they are opportunists to have gotten what they've gotten. So everybody will now be scampering and wanting to get favor from him, or favor from who is coming, or try to realign. Yeah, there will be a lot of realignment politically and all those things. There will be, but I think it is already late, because we all know how it is in Nigeria. Once, all you need to do is let them declare you winner. Like in the earlier in your program, you saw what was happening and see how game get to be played, and especially when you're in the ruling party, they'll tell you go to court. They know what is happening. When you get to the court, you get 5 different judgments from the same court, the same set of judges, depending on their mood and how they woke up from their bed, so they know how it's happening. And there's going to be a lot of alignment and all that. But it shows the incompetency in the governor too, because it shows that, because as a leader, you must learn how to choose people that are intelligent to work with you. What makes you a good leader does not mean you know everything. It's your ability to scout for the best brain and the best head to work with you, or to get people that have the same vision with you. That means he had people working with him that don't have the same vision with him.
Okay.
And he has worked for almost 8 years in the state.
Right.
And he's just realizing that at this 11th hour, it shows that he's an incompetent man. In the true nature of things, he's not competent, because
Okay.
they have not noticed that.
Thank you very much, Michael. Because of time, we have just 2 minutes. Some people are of the view that cabinet members aren't treated well by state governors. Do you, by some state governors, do you think that this is an issue that needs to be addressed? Also, where do you stand on this debate of should ministers or commissioners be involved in politicking and campaigning? Should politicians be appointed as ministers? or commissioners versus should, so-called technocrats be in such positions? So I want you to answer those two questions back to back, please.
Okay, first, I think when people say that the executive, the governors or the president, the governors are not taking care of this commissioner, it's because most of these commissioners, they are not they are not qualified for the offices, so they go begging for these offices. So because if you are qualified and you know what you know, you come to an office, you come to a political office, and you're not well treated, you resign and go back to the private practices where you can do well and show yourself or your corporate work and show your worth and put your weight that rate. And when you now ask of me, when you're asking of you think politicians should not be appointed into offices, there are a lot of smart politicians. There are a lot of people, look, almost every human being is a politician. We need to just understand that.
All right.
So it doesn't really matter. But politicians to be appointed. Yeah, technical need to be brought in, but I think a percentage or a certain percentage should be brought in to hold posts like commissioners and ministers.
All right. Quite interesting was Commissioner for Information in River State, Austin Tam George, who was Commissioner for Information under Yaya Bello's mentor, Yes Wike, who one day resigned. I think that was the first time we saw a commissioner resigning in such a manner in that dispensation. Thank you very much for your time, Michael Lanre Toluhi, political analyst and reaching us all the way from the UK. You said you're a Kogite and, of course, giving us a terrific analysis as always. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.